You may be seated. Thank you very much, folks, for being here tonight. My name is Christian Terry, and I am the Assistant Director here at Boys State. And tonight, we're going to put on a band concert for you all. Then following that, we'll have our inauguration ceremony, where we will have our Boys State Governor, Lieutenant Governor, Treasurer, Secretary of State, Auditor of Accounts, and Attorney General be sworn in. This is one of my favorite nights of the program because it is where we get to show you all how great these students are. About 2 days ago, these students came onto campus, not knowing what they were about to get into. And tonight, we get to show you how much work they've put in, especially here in the band. Altogether, they've maybe met for 2 hours total, and the amount of work and dedication that they have been able to put in is astonishing. And so we're going to start with our first piece called Sweet Caroline, and I'm sure you've heard of it before, but please, feel free to sing along. Here's Sweet Caroline. So next on our program is called These Green Mountains. And if you've never heard this song before, it is Vermont's song. This song was played, I think last time at Boys State 3 years ago, and we couldn't find the music for a bit. And so a couple weeks ago, I chose to arrange this piece of music, and so this is an arrangement that I put together of These Green Mountains. We hope you enjoy. next on our program is Hogan's Heroes March. And this is Boys State's song. One of my favorite tunes in the entire concert, Hogan's Heroes March. We hope you enjoy. This is my favorite piece on the program tonight. So a little backstory. Last year, this individual, well, he's been coming for a couple years, but last year, he asked if he can join the band. And it's this little guy over here. His name is Will Romeo. Yes. And so Will last year played an amazing triangle. And this year, he's playing some recorder with us. And so we decided it would be amazing to feature him. So he is our soloist for Hot Cross Buns. We hope you enjoy. In my day job, I'm a middle school band teacher, and one of my favorite things to do is to see the joy of music on people's faces. It brings people together, and it is the universal language in the entire world. And so we're going to continue that great music with the next piece of music, YMCA. Please do feel free to move along and do the letters if you so choose. Here is YMCA. Thank you all so very much for channeling your inner child and doing YMCA with us. It's a great piece of music, and I played it this past year with my middle school students, and you can imagine a gym of about 500 middle school students on a warm summer day screaming at the top of their lungs, YMCA. It is one of the best feelings in the entire world. The joy that they felt was amazing. Now, we're gonna end our program with 2 tunes. We're gonna end with Echo Taps, and we're going to feature Colby Toller on bagpipes for Amazing Grace. So I ask that you please rise if you're able. We'll move caps to the playing of Echo Taps followed by Amazing Grace. Thank you very much, folks. You may be seated. Now, this concludes the band concert for tonight. We're going to take a 10-minute intermission. When you hear the bell, that means our intermission has ended, and please do come back and find your seats here in the auditorium, and we'll start our inauguration part of our program. 10 minutes. Thank you very much, folks. Will the Speaker of the House please come up to the podium?
Would the House of Representatives of Green Mountain Boys State please come to order?
Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Senate of Green Mountain Boys State. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Supreme Court of Green Mountain Boys State. Mr. Speaker, the honorable members of the executive branch of Green Mountain Boys State.
Would the members of the House and Senate please retire to the back of the chamber to escort the governor?
Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Governor of Green Mountain Boys State, Sawyer Garth Appner.
You may be seated. Would the members of the executive branch and Chief Justice please join me on stage? With the Attorney General, Auditor of Accounts, Secretary of State, Treasurer, and Lieutenant Governor, please rise to receive the oath of office.
Raise your right hand, and the response is, I do.
Do you solemnly swear that you will faithfully execute the duties of your elected office at Green Mountain Boys State, and will you do justice to all persons to the best of your judgment and ability, according to the law, so help you God?
I do.
Congratulations.
I would like to introduce the Green Mountain Boys State Attorney General, Luke Amidon, Federalist from the town of Messier, Mount Mansfield Union High School.
Hi, I just want to say, first of all, thank you so much to the American Legion. This has been such an incredible opportunity. I have learned so incredibly much. It's been such a unique and rewarding experience, and thank you so much for voting me in. This has been such a great opportunity for learning, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much.
The Green Mountain Boys State Auditor of Accounts, Grady Gallagher, Federalist from the town of Loisel, Rutland High School.
Good evening, everyone. Just like my fellow friends up here, I'd like to thank the American Legion. I'd also like to thank Norwich University for letting us use their facilities. I'd also like to thank Mr. McNamara and Mr. Terry for this amazing event. I'd like to thank my peers as well for voting me into office. We got 2 more days. Let's have fun. Let's keep it simple, and let's enjoy ourselves. Thank you.
The Green Mountain Boys State Treasurer, Carter McGuire, Federalist and Nationalist from the town of Burgess, Virgins Union High School.
Good evening, everybody. I'd like to start things off by giving a huge thanks to the American Legion for making this whole program possible, and I'd like to give a specific shout out to the Post 14 from Virgins, Vermont, because not only did they pay for us Virgins delegates to come here this week and enjoy Green Mountain Boys State, they also sponsor the 539 unit of Scouting America, which I participate in heavily. I'm a Life Scout, Pushing Eagle, so I'd like to give a huge thanks to you guys. I wouldn't be up here without you. Next, I'd like to thank my fellow delegates for voting me into office. I appreciate it. I appreciate all the support, the compassion, the integrity, inclusion. It's all thanks to you guys, so thank you. I appreciate it. Lastly, I'd like to finish by thanking the Green Mountain Boys State staff. Once again, it's been so amazing, such a great experience. Wouldn't be possible without all of you guys here for guidance, support, advice. I didn't practice a closing. Thank you all so much. I really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to finishing out the week. Thank you.
The Green Mountain Boys State Secretary of State, Karen Prakash, Independent from the town of Messier, Middlebury Union High School.
Again, as my fellow delegates have said, I thank the staff of Green Mountain Boys State and the counselors, everyone who made this happen. I thank the American Legion for selecting me and funding me to go here. I thank everyone who voted for me. I thank everyone who was just an amazing friend to me throughout this experience, and it was a very memorable experience. And yeah, just thank you so much.
The Green Mountain Boys State Lieutenant Governor, Samuel Curtis, Independent from the town of Messier, Essex High School.
I'd like to start off by thanking the American Legion for funding my time here, and to the staff of the Boys State staff. They have really helped. Together, they made this whole experience really memorable, and I am so thankful to every single one of them. I want to thank my peers who supported me this week. I want to thank my competitor, Chase Koenig, for being such a good guy. And also, finally, hi Mama. It's good to see you, and I hope you're proud of me. I love you.
Would the governor of Green Mountain Boys State please approach the podium to be sworn in?
Raise your right hand, and the response is, I do. Do you solemnly swear that you will faithfully execute the office of Governor of Green Mountain Boys State and will do justice to all persons to the best of your judgment and ability, according to the law, so help you God?
I do.
Congratulations.
The 2025 Green Mountain Boys State Governor, Sawyer Garthafner, Federalist from the town of Burgess, Virgins Union High School.
So I would like to start off by thanking the American Legion. You guys put this program together, and it's a very good program. I wouldn't have learned as much as I learned if I didn't come here. Specifically, I'd like to thank American Legion Post 14 for sponsoring all the Virgins kids to be here. I didn't have to pay for this, and that is quite the privilege. I'd also like to thank the Boys State delegates for voting me into such a position. It is an honor to serve you guys, and I hope to represent you guys as the governor for the remainder of this week. And lastly, I'd like to thank the Boys State staff for putting this together and getting the schedule and things like that hashed out. You guys certainly put a good week together, and I'm very thankful for that. Lastly, thank you to everyone and everyone's support for this. I will not let you down. Thank you.
You may return to your seats. Next, I'm going to introduce the Vermont State Commander, Bill Brothers. He's a member of the Fairhaven Post 49, served as Post 49 Adjutant, served in both the Army and Navy from 1976 until 1989. He's a dual member of the American Legion and the Sons of the American Legion. He's been the Department Senior Vice Commander, Southern Area Commander, 4th District Commander, been a part of the Americanism Committees, Children and Youth Chair, Scholarships and Awards, Athletic Committee, Legion Baseball, and Education. It is with my honor to introduce Bill Brothers.
Thank you. Good evening. It's an honor for me to be here this evening. I want to personally commend you on the deadest for you deciding to participate in the 2025 Green Mountain Boys State session. You are now among the ranks of many prominent and famous Americans that blazed the trail before you. Astronaut Neil Armstrong, the first man to walk on the moon, the 42nd United States President William Bill Clinton, professional athlete Michael Jordan, music legend John Bon Jovi and Bruce Springsteen, and the NBC News anchor Tom Brokaw, just to mention a few Boys State alumni. As you follow in the enormous footsteps of these great leaders, after high school graduation, the lessons you learn from Boys State experience will help you to excel in whatever you do. The saying, the sky's the limit. Many have been words spoken to Mr. Armstrong during his Boys State session as a youth. Whether it be a city, state, or federal government official, military leader for any branch of service, law enforcement officer, first responder, TV news anchor, athlete, musician, or wherever your path takes you. The week-long experience has prepared you for your success. The American Legion Boys State Program is another gift awarded to you by the brave men and women who served in the great nation. One of these veterans may be your relative of yours and may have given you the privilege to join the American Legion family as a son of the American Legion. If you feel this was a rewarding experience for you, we ask that you please consider becoming a member. Not only does the American Legion sponsor incredible educational programs like Boys State, but many other programs, while also advocating for other service members during active duty and continuing into one's home. If your path leads you towards a career in the armed forces service, please remember the American Legion will be there for you and your family too. Again, thank you for giving me the opportunity to stand here before you and speak about an organization that I'm proud to lead as a commander. I wish you all a very interesting, educational, and exciting reminder of this session. God bless all of you, and God bless America. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, I'm going to introduce Major General Gregory Knight. Major General Gregory Knight is currently serving as the Adjutant General, Vermont National Guard. Major General Knight has 40 years of uniformed service, 27 years of commissioned service, and 13 years of prior enlisted service. Major General Knight started his enlisted career with the U.S. Coast Guard in October of 1983, serving 6 years and separating from the service as a Yeoman Second Class in October 1989. Following his service, Major General Knight pursued a career in Vermont law enforcement, serving 4 years as a Burlington police officer and 7 years as the chief liquor investigator with the Department of Liquor Control. Concurrent with his law enforcement career, Major General Knight continued his military career as a traditional Guard member, serving 7 years with the Vermont Air National Guard as a security force specialist. He earned his commission through Officer Candidate School in 1997, joining the Vermont Army National Guard and serving 3 years as a traditional National Guard officer. Major General Knight was selected for active guard and reserve duty in June of 2000 and served in this status until his election as Vermont Adjutant General. In June of 2023, Major General Knight was selected by his peers to become the Vice President Army of the Adjutant General Association of the United States. He's married to Tracy and have 4 children, Jason, Griffin, daughter Colby, and Cooper. And Major General Knight is a longtime resident of Huntington, Vermont. It is my pleasure to introduce Major General Gregory Knight.
If I walk, can you all hear me okay? Yeah. This auditorium is designed for this, I think. So thanks for the opportunity to be here. My Legion colleagues, thank you for doing this. Every time I get to do this, it's a heartening event for me. It kind of reinvigorates my faith in our great little state and in America. You all understand the importance of what you're participating in right now? You're learning through this program what I think most Americans need to experience, and probably some members of Congress. It's called civics. Imagine that. So in my role, I spend a lot of time working with the legislature. And my Legion colleagues know this because today we had some legislative success. And it's through persistence. And I'll talk a little bit more about building relationships because that's really how we get things done. It's about building relationships. Start building them now, cherish them, nurture them, but keep that network. Because I will tell you, it'll pay dividends down the road. Did you know Vermont retains the distinction of having the only legislatively elected adjutant general? Every other adjutant general is appointed by the governor. Now, that works everywhere but here. So I went from being, at the time, what did I have, 36 years in the military? I went from being a colonel to a politician. Yeah, I had to run for office. And now here I am. Let's back that up. So you heard Christian, read through the resume, that's great. The bottom line in all this, I started my military career as an E1. Now, who understands rank structure for the military? Is there a lower rank than E1? Nope. So imagine, 21 years old, I joined the military as an E1 with no college. Because of the military, because of the Guard in particular, fast forward to now, I got a bachelor's degree, 2 master's degrees. I'm a friggin' two-bagger running the show, and who paid for my college? Wasn't me. But you pay through service, right? Nothing's free, I'll tell you that right now. But, are there challenges? Yep. In military service, whether you're Guard, Reserve, irrespective of the branch, do you believe that military service is convenient? It is not. By you being here and giving up some of your summer, is that convenient? No. But to me, it speaks volumes about your character that you took time to come here and learn. That's impressive. Y'all going to the State House tomorrow, right? All right, so, remember I mentioned relationships and how you get things done. Doesn't matter, in uniform, out of uniform. A lot of my colleagues here, and parents, by the way, thank you for raising such fine young adults. Great work, despite the efforts to the contrary, but we'll take it. But when you work with folks, you learn things, right? What do people like to talk about? Themselves, right? So even at your relatively young age, you know that. The same is true with legislators. Same is true with anybody in the executive branch. Same with senior officers, people who are doing things to run the organization. How do you get stuff out of them that you need? How do you get to yes? Well, I know what I do. I don't talk about me. And you never, ever lead with a, hey, I need. No. I'm going to go in and I'm going to do what you do, be curious, and always learn, and I will talk to folks. I'll go talk to a committee, or I'll go testify to a committee or a caucus. You understand that you'll learn, if you don't, the difference between a committee and a caucus? What do you think? Who can tell me? What's the difference? What do you got?
A caucus is a party, committee is a legislative.
Kind of. So, a committee is multiple parties. In our state, it could be tripartisan, right? It could be independent, Democrat, Republican, progressive, but they are all on a committee seeking balance for legislative debate on certain bills. Now, a caucus is not a formal construct. It is a legislative interest group. Now, you could have a party affiliation. It could be Republican or Democrat, it could be progressive, that somebody has a caucus, it's an interest group. But within our little state house, there's all kinds of caucuses. There's a women's caucus, an environmental caucus, an education caucus, a small school caucus. There's a caucus for just about everything people have an interest in. You don't have to be any particular party to have an interest in what we're talking about. So, importance of relationships. Take it forward with you. I learned when I first got this job, the Guard did not have a great deal of give and take with the legislature. The Adjutant General would go down and testify to a committee when asked, Or when we needed something. Well, that's just bad form. That's not how you build relationships. You don't go down and say, hey, I'm here to testify because you called me. Or, hey, I need something. Come on. So what I asked for was, hey, how about a venue for me to have a conversation? To talk with legislators and educate them on what the Guard is and what the Guard does. Smartest thing I could have done. What I could not have foreseen in asking for that relationship was the conversation I get to have, professional candor. I can be blunt, I can speak my mind, I can advocate for my organization, which is my job. What I could not have foreseen was the level of advocacy, the collegiality, the curiosity that comes out of this caucus. They want to help. It's now called the Vermont National Guard and Veterans Affairs Caucus, because it's not just about the Guard, it's about veterans. So I've been able to work with them, propose legislative language, and understand, again, here's the benefit, they are all part of different committees, that construct, right? If I need an education bill passed, which we did, they will go back to the education committee, help me craft language, and then what happens? I get legislation passed, and it benefits the National Guard. How about that? So we had a pilot program that was going to end this month. Bachelor's degree, master's degree, certificate of producing programs, you can go to the trades, you get your pilot's license. Guard will pay for it. We got that passed into law. So you with me? Importance of relationships, right? Hang on to that. Build the networks now. It's one of the things the military does. Some of my colleagues are here. We still leverage that. You'll make lifelong friends. So for me, as I was talking to somebody earlier, find something that you love. And the saying goes, you never work a day in your life, right? And I can assure you it's not all roses. I haven't loved every minute of my work. But when I look at the opportunities, there are still far more good days than bad. It's what you make of it. But don't miss the opportunities. Whether you go military or not, pursue opportunities. And I would also tell you, by you being me, you've already exemplified, at least to me, you are not average. Okay? You can be average. I don't recommend it. Because if you do go to the military, and many of us have gone to war, average when you go to war is really a bad idea. Gets people killed. So it's a serious business. Whether you go to law enforcement, or whatever it is that you do your best at it. Don't be average. Because you can imagine if somebody's on a selection board, and you come in and you figure I'll just do good enough. It will not be good enough. Harsh reality, right? Be better. Be curious. Always learn. It will pay dividends for you. So, I'll get off stage here very quickly. How many of you are interested, and I'm not here to recruit you, but I will. How many of you are interested in going to a service academy? Show of hands. Couple. How many are interested in going to a senior military college like Norwich University? Couple. UVM? In-state? Sure. Trade school? Whatever you choose to do. If people don't understand this, there are some secrets about the Guard. It's a secret. People don't know. I know because I've been doing this for a couple days. So imagine if you want to go to a senior service, a service academy, Air Force Academy, West Point, you can compete for that congressional nomination. You can bring your packet and hope that somebody within our congressional delegation nominates you, and then after that you actually get selected. And you're competing against how many thousands of applicants for such a distinguished appointment? Okay, well, or you could play the odds. You could join the National Guard, part-time job, but Title 10 of U.S. Code, there's a section there that requires the service academies to keep a certain number of seats open for the reserve component every year. 85 seats for the Guard. So now, if you're in the Guard, you have standing, you're in the military, and folks would look at that packet and go, hey, this person just finished their advanced individual training. They're a drilling member of the Guard. You have a work ethic. you got the training under your belt, that stick-to-itiveness they're looking for. You're still building a packet. You're still bringing your GPA. You'll still bring your letters of recommendation, your community service, your participation in Boys State, participation in the Legion. All that builds a picture for the selecting committee of you. But now you're competing for 85 seats against a much smaller cohort. And what happens if you don't get picked? Well, they might send you to West Point Prep, for instance. Let's say you don't have the STEM education that you needed. Well, they'll give you a year to get to. They don't want you to fail. So maybe you have a 5-year West Point experience. How horrible is that? 5 years of free chicken? Are you kidding me? And what's the worst thing that happens? You don't get picked. Guess who still pays for your college? The National Guard. You're still graduating debt-free. And the benefit of being in the Guard is our benefit in Vermont is applicable to both public and private institutions. So, lots of options out there for you. A lot of stuff to consider. But don't hesitate to reach out, ask questions. We're an open book. I think it's September 7th. We have an open house. And I think we figured out the parking. The last time we did a big one, the ferries across Lake Champlain were backed up into New York. There were so many people trying to get to the airbase. So I think we fixed that this year. Are there downsides to being in the military? So, okay, Mr. Pink Tie. I used to have hair like yours. You can look forward to this. Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, I'll stop talking. But if you take anything away, build a network. Build your relationships now. Don't be a jerk. It's really not that hard to be a decent person. Because you never know when you got to cross that bridge again. So build the relationships, right? Build your resume. Take opportunities when they come. And don't be average. Because if you're in a whirlpool of average, it doesn't work. You want to be the person that stands out. You with me on that? Yeah, I'm telling you, smartest thing I could have done. The day I showed up at boot camp, for all the push-ups and all the yelling and all the discipline, which is what I was really looking for me it was like, you ever bought a brand new pair of running shoes? And you put them on, you're like, oh man, that's awesome. It was like that. That was 43 years ago. So find it and follow your passion. Who said that said passion doesn't cost anything, right? Dan Davis, one of my guys. Find your passion. And if that's your thing, great. But go after it. I'm telling you. And leverage me, as long as I'm around. You want a recommendation? You want to go up and tour the Guard? I can interview you, for instance, and let's say you want to get to a service academy. Who do you think is going to write you a letter of recommendation? It could be me. Well, no, I'm not God's gift of leadership. I'm not a moron either. But imagine if I sit you down or with your parents and say, hey, tell me about yourself. Here's what I'm going to say about you. Does that sound about right? I'll not sticking my neck out for somebody unless I know them. Because that tends to burn you sometimes. But we'll have a conversation. I am willing to help you out to get you to your end state. So identify your goal and go after it. Anyway, I'll stop talking. What do you got for me? What questions? Really? Yes, sir.
My name is Grady Gallagher. I'm from the town of Memorial for Boise State, but I'm actually from Belleville High School. What sparked your first, when was your first interest in the Guard? When did you first consider that to be a career path?
Military or the Guard?
The Guard itself.
So the Guard was a well-kept secret to me. I came off of active duty. I pursued a career in law enforcement, and I knew enough to keep my foot in the door. But I didn't realize all of the benefits and opportunities that came with being in the Guard. Once I did it, initially with the Air Guard, I just loved going to drill weekends. And then I went through Army OCS, and then I knew I just wanted to go back in full time. It just fit. And I enjoyed being a law enforcement officer. It was never quite what I wanted it to be. When I look forward more to going to drill weekend and being with my Army colleagues than I did going to law enforcement and doing my job there. I knew that was the thing for me. That's what got my attention. And then, logical to follow on. The other thing I will tell you, thank you for the question. You're gonna find mentors. You're gonna find mentors that will see things in you that you don't see in yourself. Colby. You may not even know it, but they'll be looking out for you. I can tell you about the late Brigadier General Mike Heston, who was a state trooper colleague of mine, been doing it for 30 years. Became one of my best friends. He was also in the Army National Guard, convinced me to leave the Air Guard to go to Army OCS. Well, conveniently enough, he was the OCS commander, so he got credit for an enlistment at the time. But at every turn in my career, Mike had his hand on my shoulder, kind of saying, hey, you're gonna go do this job. He was from Rhode Island, stubborn cop. And he would call and he'd say, hey, Nida, you're gonna apply for War College. Hey, sir, I just started my master's program at Post University. I'm all set. You're not hearing me. You're going to apply for Naval War College. Yes, sir. Yes, I'm going to apply for Naval War College. Apparently, it's not a question. Hey, I'm going to make you the Deputy Chief of Personnel, Chief of Staff of Personnel. I don't want that job. You're not hearing me. You're going to go do that job. I'm going to move you to Human Resources. Want to be Human Resources. You're going to go to Human Resources. Because he had a vision, and he knew every assignment he would send me to do made me a better rounded officer. I was learning more and more about the organization. After 3 tours in Afghanistan, he retired from the state police. He was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer. He was not doing well. I came back from the Naval War College that he told me to go to. And he called me down to his office. He was going to run for office, and he said, obviously I can't. I need you to run. Now, I said, this job's not on my to-do list. He said, understand, you'll be fine. Now here I am. That man saw enough in me, and had that faith and that confidence and that trust that I could do what he was going to do. How am I going to tell him no? So, see that in yourself. Somebody will find it for you. Thank you. See, you got me on a rant. Okay. What else we got? Yes, sir.
My name's Kate Mulcahy. I'm from the Boise State town of Burgess, and I go to Rexmore High School. I wanted to ask you, you've obviously been in multiple services, like the Air Guard, the Army Guard, and law enforcement. And I just wanted to ask, what are some differences between the different branches, including law enforcement, and how they help shape you as a person?
So, I've always been, I don't know, I create the structure, the organization, law enforcement. I've always worn a uniform. After I joined the military, I've never not worn a uniform of some kind. Law enforcement, I like the idea of being a law enforcement officer. I just love the military. I think probably because, the Army in particular, because the Army gives you instructions for everything. Like even how to use a sleeping bag, believe it or not. So that's probably what attracted me more than anything was the discipline. And then once you're in, I have great friends in law enforcement. We didn't hang out. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be. It wasn't as collegial or as close. It's not like TV. You ain't solving things in 20 minutes. It was just different. Military, and in particular, when I got deployed 20 years ago this month to a very kinetic environment. You want to talk about being close to your colleagues? That'll do it. But that's something, to me, is irreplaceable. At times it was tragic, but that's something I would never try. I wouldn't trade that for anything. And these are folks that I kept in touch with. I could reach back tomorrow and call them, and they'd be here for me. That's the bond, to me, that comes from military service. Full-time or guard. But they all got a different mission. Air Guard was different. Air Guard is a far more technical, especially with our mission currently, with those F-16s or F-35s. Army, we've got a bunch of different missions. And thanks to the band, by the way, you want to talk about music impacting people, Christian, I took 15 members of my 40th Army band to Austria, one of our state partners. And they played at 8 venues in a week. 5 days, 8 venues throughout Vienna. best ambassador I could not have asked for better ambassadors for the Vermont Guard. So it's not just killing bad people and breaking their things. We do that too. There's a lot more to the military than that. Okay, thank you. Okay, did I get there?
Yeah.
I know I talked a lot. Yes?
My name is Frank Martel. I'm in the town of Bezier, and I live in Jeffersonville. And I wanted to know if you have any more goals for your future.
About 8 months from now, I got a big goal. Yeah, spend a lot more time with my Legion friends. That's happening. So, I don't know. My wife keeps asking me, what are you going to do when you retire? I was like, why do you want me to go back to work? Stop! Give me a minute. I'll figure it out. I don't know. I am curious about the future of Vermont. I like to think collectively we can make a significant difference. If you go to the State House, unfortunately, you give me legislators tomorrow, right? Some of them. So it's funny because it's decorum, right? And you listen to the civility that happens there, no matter the disagreement, right? I enjoy going to them. I'm weird. I enjoy going to the State House because you can affect change. And I was talking to one of my best friends in the legislature. You might not win 90% of the time, but man, the 10% that you do that can have a positive impact on our communities and our state, I'm all in for that. So maybe, I don't know. I'd like to go fishing for a couple of months. I think probably first. But there's more to be done. And I think that's something else that I would ask all of you to consider. You're going to have days when you think, man, I just can't give anymore. Yeah, you can. I'm telling you, you can. Because there's something, understand the English language. When I talk to folks about joining the Guard in particular, folks about your age, what are the trendy names now? Any Brandons in here? Brendan? Bradens? Bradleys? Philippines? Tiffany's? Anyway, so I'll talk to whoever's got the trendy name, and what do you think I get when I suggest, hey, maybe you should think about joining the Guard, you know? And I always lead with service first. Yeah, we got benefits, but don't give them away. If you're not interested in service, then this is probably not your thing. But imagine when I hear, dude, like, no way, I can't do that. Oh, hey, don't call me dude, because that's super offensive. But you can. Now, there may be some conditions that mean you can't. I got it. But I think what you mean is you won't. That's a distinction. So, can't is not a word for us. Well, you have a choice. I would prefer that, to be honest about it. But clearly by you being here, you realize your potential, and you know that you can. So thanks for being a part of it. It matters. Nobody takes it away from you. And again, you're doing something to me, and because of our Legion, it's incredibly special. So own it, wear it. Be proud of what you're doing here, because it matters. Okay, one more and then I'll get off stage. I know, Christian, you give me the look here in a minute.
My name is Greg as well.
Cool.
I'm from the Boise State town of Loisel and from Essex is where I live. You talk a lot about curiosity and always trying to learn new things, so I'm curious, what's something new that you're learning right now?
Oh boy, every day I learn something. Just learned something the other day, because I'm old, I forgot it, so relearning. Again, it comes back, sometimes you relearn things, it comes back to the power of relationships. I'll give you an example. We had a significant exercise north of the Arctic Circle. I got a note from our operations officer saying, hey, Army North, this is in January, the exercise is happening in March in Resolute, way north. Now this involves working with Canadian Armed Forces or other Northern Tier Guard states, the New York Air National Guard, their ski-equipped C-130s or C-17s, who's paying for fuel, who's doing de-icing. The logistics of getting there is one thing. Surviving there is another, never mind operating. This is a year in the planning. I got an email, yeah, Army North just turned off the exercise. Like, what? No. So I sat on it for a day, and I texted. two of my colleagues who were Guard senior officers, one with Forces Command, and the other one was a Deputy Commanding General for Army North. And I simply, in a text, said, hey, this is a bad idea, and here's why. And by 3 o'clock the next day, the exercise was turned back on me. I didn't speak to anybody. It was simply understanding who can do what for you. And I will never, I just never get tired of learning that over and over again. So I want to be that person for somebody else. If I can help somebody get accepted to an academy, I'm going to do that. But I always learned the value of relationships is simply irreplaceable. That I can tell you. I learn all kinds of stuff, but yes. All right, we good? Really appreciate it. Honor and privilege to be here. Good to see everybody. Ian, where are you? Returning rock star. There he is. How about it? Ian, you joined the Guard yet?
Not bad.
What do you hate America? What is wrong with you? Come on. You can do it. So anyway, Christian knows how to get a hold of me. I clearly didn't bring enough business cards for everybody, but don't hesitate to reach out. All right, so as long as I'm around, I'm happy to help out. Any questions you have, come see us at the open house. Costs nothing to ask questions. We're an open book. Air Guard, Army Guard, but yeah, follow your heart. You with me? All right, thanks everybody. Thanks for being here. Thanks for being here.
Thank you so very much. So before we close for the night, just a couple thank yous. First off, thank you so very much to the American Legion. This program wouldn't exist without you all. So can we please all stand and give a big round of applause to our American Legion. Thank you all so very much. Thank you all to the parents for bringing these amazing, amazing children here. It's amazing to see the progress in these 3 days, learning about state and town government, learning about what a town warning is. How does a school board form? Where can you second a nomination? The education that these kids are getting will stay with them for the rest of their life. As Major General Knight said, connections matter, relationships matter. Now, this program would not be running without those green shirts in the very back as well. I want to give a huge, huge round of applause to the staff back in the back of the building. So please. Tonight we celebrated all of you, but we also celebrate a recent retirement for one of the staples of the Green Mountain Boys State program. Mr. Dave Cobb is a retired educator and administrator. He was an avid official here in the state of Vermont and heavily involved with the Vermont Principals Association. Mr. Cobb has been involved with Boys State since 1985. And he served as director between the years 2010 and 2022. I first met Mr. Cobb in 2015 on the campus of Linden College, where I attended Boys State and I was in the seats of you folks. And he is a large reason why I wanted to return in 2016 as a counselor, and I have been a counselor since then. Whether it's talking about referee stories at dinner, telling me or letting me tell jokes as a delegate, or just being somebody I can count on, Mr. Cobb had a profound impact on me and thousands of leaders all across the world. One thought that describes him perfectly is leaders don't create followers, they create more leaders. Mr. Cobb has not only been a huge impact on my life, but he is somebody that continues to be there in people's lives. One of the best stories I can tell about that is when I was in college, studying to become a music teacher, I put on a senior recital. And that is a huge thing for a very nervous music student. And I'm sitting at the marimba, or I guess standing at the marimba, and I'm extremely nervous. And I look up and I just see Mr. Cobb standing right on the very back, and he just gives me a little wave. And I immediately feel relieved. He's been one of my role models growing up, and somebody I can always talk with, and he will always be a part of the Boys State family. Please, help me congratulate Mr. Dave Cobb on his work with this extraordinary program.
Spencer and I started in 1985. I don't know how many years. If you think that's much, we have a friend of ours named Murph from West Rutland. He did it for 52. This thing gets in your blood. It's hard to let go because of the people, the young people that we work with, the leaders we see develop. When you get to be old like us, you've seen them start off as 17-year-olds, and then we used to see them on the basketball court, on the soccer pitch, see their leadership evolve as they moved up through, catch them in college when we were officiating, and then see them come through. They'd come back, give us stories, some would come back and work on staff. It's just a tremendous honor and a privilege to be with this group of people, the Legion, who believe in it. This group, another wonderful group of young men who are going to go out and become leaders. Stay in Vermont. Go to school out of state, but come back to Vermont, please. It's just an honor to be part of this group, and I thank you very much, and I'm going to get you for doing this. Thank you, sir.
And so this concludes our ceremony for tonight. Thank you all once more for being here tonight. It's a great honor to be in front of you, and I can't thank you all enough for being here. Delegates, lights out at 10 p.m. You're all dismissed. Thank you.